All right, folks, salute. Best cup of coffee anywhere. A Brighton hot dog shop. Got to have the spoon, right? All right, now listen. We're going to show you why this place is so special in a moment. But coming up in a couple of moments, just some random thoughts from my favorite hometown paper, the Beaver Allegheny County Times. And obviously Cincinnati and the Steelers getting ready for football on Saturday. That's a big story. Also, something that I want to discuss because Denora native Ken Griffey Jr. is going into the Hall of Fame. And one of my favorite coaches of all time is headed back to a town and a team that he made famous many years ago. 1970 graduate Ronnie Shiloh at the next board meeting is going to be named their football coach at Riverside again. And how do I know that? Mike Byers, high school, right there, folks, seen in today's Beaver County Times. Now, when you come to the Brighton Hot Dog Shop, follow me. This is what it's really all about. And they are everywhere, folks, in the region. And here's John, obviously the manager, doing a great job as always tonight. Follow me. Only a chosen few get to go behind the counter. Very fortunate. But look, it's about the dogs, folks. These wonderful, wonderful dogs. And of course, the relish, the onions, the mustard, the ketchup, oh yes, and the chili. So now that you've seen all that, that's what you call comfort food. We're going to give you some sports because after all, it's all in the bag. At that crimson and gold diamond that savors the flavor that is the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. All right, folks, thanks to the sports section in the Beaver Allegheny County Times and some work on the Samsung smartphone, your Pratte put together some notes. We're going to begin with Cincinnati and the Steelers coming up Saturday night. You know, the Steelers have won 14 out of 17 at Paul Brown Stadium, and that stadium has been around for 15 years. Big Ben has just been lights out, close to 5,600 yards passing against the Bengals. Mike Tomlin is a head coach, 13 out of 18 against the Bengals. Now, here's the thing about the Steelers in separate games this year. They're only 1 out of 2 teams who have scored 30 points against the Bengals and held the Bengals to under 16. That's in separate games. But the Bengals are a striped cat that is on a mission. They have equaled a franchise record of 12 wins this season, and the last time they did that was back in 1981. Again, at this point, Steelers are giving 2.5 points to Cincinnati, and that game coming up on Saturday night. We're going to have much more of the post game on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Greg Dolas, Bob Dvorak, and Ted Arnaud and me Sunday at noon on News Radio 1020 KDK. Now, I want to talk a little bit of baseball. You know, I love the game of baseball. Who doesn't? The Pirates have just given us a whole lot of thrills in recent years. But when you think about some of the greats who are connected to this area, you have to think about the Griffey family, Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr., Denora, Pennsylvania, also that place that is the home of Stan the Man Musial, one of the greatest of all time Hall of Famers who played for the St. Louis Cardinals. But Ken Griffey Jr., after a couple of decades playing in the bigs, is going into the Hall of Fame. And he got 99.3% of the vote. That's the most since Tom Seaver was enshrined in 1992, and rightfully so. This guy in his big league career, 630 home runs. He had 1,836 RBIs and a batting average of 284. He was MVP of the league in 92 and 97, comeback player of the year as well. Many, many, many honors for Ken Griffey Jr. We with him wish him nothing but the best. And one of my favorite catchers of all time, many years with the Dodgers, and also came back to play with the Mets on the East Coast, and he happens to be the godson and nephew of the great Tommy Lasorda. Mike Piazza, 427 home runs during his career. And as far as RBIs, 1,325. But here's the key about him as far as being a catcher. His lifetime batting average, 308. So congratulations to him. Two guys who I believe need to be in the Hall of Fame, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds. Especially Barry Bonds, I do believe. He got 44% of the vote. Clemens got 47%. But the good news is, for those of us who really believe in those two athletes, they're up 47% from the last time they were up to get into the Hall of Fame. So I think eventually they will get into the Hall of Fame. And I think Barry Bonds, no matter what you think, truly the greatest long ball hitter ever in the history of baseball. And I think he deserves to be in the game. Now, kind of tying it into baseball, but also talking King football in Western Pennsylvania. He is Ron Shiloh, a great coach, been a longtime friend of your Pratte Pack. He is a 1970 graduate of Beaver Falls, where he played quarterback for Larry Bruno. Also an exceptional baseball player. In 1969 at Forbes Field in the Class AAA championship game, he threw a one-hitter. He got a football scholarship to Kentucky, and after a few years transferred to Slippery Rock to play baseball. But as a coach, when he was at Riverside from 1987 to 1984, he was incredible. He took that team to the 91, 92, and 93 AAA championship game at Three Rivers. They didn't win it, but this guy had an amazing tenure there. 60 wins, 27 losses, and 3 ties. PIAA 6A classification next year for Riverside. And according, as I said earlier, to Mike Byers, one of the best writers, I believe, in this region, in today's times, Ronnie Shiro will be officially hired as their new football coach at Riverside heading into next year. And he's got a young football team, got a lot of talent, and he's a great coach, and I think he'll do well. So there you have it. Now I'm going to have some wedding soup and call it a night, and I hope you've enjoyed our little bit of a sports report here from the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. Now I'll get back to my coffee, and I'll say goodnight. And as always, folks, it's a pleasure spending time with you. Your Pratt Pack from the Brighton Hot Dog Shop in Vanport. Good eating and good night.